My name is Ariella Moore, and 5 minutes ago my little sister poured a glass of red wine down the front of my white silk blouse at our family dinner table. She smiled when she did it. Slow, deliberate, elegant in the way cruelty looks elegant when someone thinks they'll never face consequences. My parents didn't gasp. They didn't scold her. They clapped. Like humiliation was entertainment. Like I was the punchline in a show they'd rehearsed my entire life. I didn't cry. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't even reach for a napkin. I just let the wine soak in, rich, dark, expensive, like every insult they'd brushed off as joking, every comparison disguised as advice, every time they taught me silence was the only form of love I deserved. Then I stood up calm as the stem of the glass she'd tipped onto me. I placed a small black hard drive case on the table. Soft click. Sharp echo. Sienna's smirk faltered just a flicker. My father's hand froze mid-smile. My mother's eyes narrowed the way people do when they sense fire but don't know where it's burning from. "You have 5 minutes," I said, quietly tucking a strand of hair behind my ear, like this was any other Tuesday night. Tell the truth, or someone else will. Or, no threats, no drama, just fact. The kind that doesn't need volume to be dangerous. Sienna blinked. My father's jaw clenched. My mother whispered my name like a warning. 5 minutes. That's all I gave them. After a lifetime of being talked over, pushed down, prettily ignored, 5 minutes felt generous. Because when a family spends years mistaking your silence for weakness, they never notice when your strength finally starts speaking back. Silence was the language of my childhood. Not peaceful silence, obedient silence. Every opinion I voiced was brushed aside with polite dismissal. I learned to breathe in rooms where my voice was an inconvenience dressed as a daughter. Sienna sparkled early. Princess dresses, camera flashes, praise that echoed. I stood just outside the frame, holding bobby pins, learning that anchors don't get applause. They just sink so others can shine. At school, I lived in numbers and logic places where truth couldn't be silenced. I traced patterns, found lies hidden in spreadsheets, and learned that power means nothing if no one sees it. One spring evening, Sienna twirled in her prom dress while I held an acceptance letter to a top data internship. "Don't interrupt," my mother said. "Let Sienna have her moment." Her moment became years. Mine never arrived. So I turned humiliation into ambition. People mistake silence for surrender. They forget it's also storage. I stored every slight, every comparison, every quiet dismissal. They didn't hate me. They just looked through me. I smiled through birthdays, clapped through Sienna's triumphs, and thanked them for planners while she got diamonds. But quiet never meant weak. Some build kingdoms with noise, I built mine with evidence. When wine spilled on my blouse that night, it didn't just stain fabric, it revealed everything they'd tried to hide. I drifted from them, one earned step at a time. While Sienna posed for followers, I built a career out of code and compliance. Applause came as results, not noise. My mother sent texts about Sienna's milestones. I never replied with mine. Pride lived in silence. Then came suspicion, a comment from Sienna about Dad handling the down payment. Another about taxes being optional. I started tracing. A shell, LLC. Transfers from family trust funds. Crypto through mixers. Fraud disguised as legacy. Their glamour was built on laundered money, and I was the only one who could see it. They'd underestimated the worst person possible, a woman who sees what others hide. Then came the gold invitation, family dinner celebration of Sienna and Ethan's engagement. I should have declined. But trauma whispers, maybe this time they'll see you. So I went. The house gleamed. Sienna glowed. My mother whispered, "Tonight's about your sister." It always was. Then the wine red spilling over my cream blouse. Gasps. Silence. My father's smirk. "Oops," Sienna said sweetly. Guess silk stains fast. I looked at her calm, unshaken, reached into my bag and placed a hard drive on the table. You just started a countdown, I said, and you don't even know it. Revenge isn't always fire. Sometimes it's silence finally speaking for itself. The room didn't explode the way movies teach you it should. It went quiet. Heavy, thick quiet, the kind that settles when everyone senses something irreversible just entered the air. Sienna's laugh fractured. My father's face stiffened skin pulled too tight over ego and denial. My mother's hand froze mid-air, fingers hovering near her pearls like they might protect her from discomfort. What is that supposed to mean? Sienna scoffed, but her voice wasn't confident anymore. It was sharp, brittle like crystal right before it shatters. I tapped the case lightly. 5 minutes, I said, keeping my tone even. To tell the truth. Or someone who outranks your Instagram followers will handle it. My father leaned back, trying to reclaim control through posture alone. Men like him think gravity bends around their last names. Ariella, don't be dramatic, he said. Whatever you think you've found. I don't think I interrupted. I verify. The silence cracked Eva. One of their country club friends shifted uncomfortably, glancing at Ethan. His face drained of color. For the first time, he truly looked at Sienna like she wasn't the woman he proposed to, but the liability he accidentally aligned himself with. I opened my phone thumb, hovering over a queued email titled, "To IRS Criminal Investigation Division and FinCEN Financial Crimes Unit." Sienna's eyes widened, mascaraed lashes fluttering like panic disguised as poise. "You wouldn't," she whispered. "Your signature is on the LLC paperwork." I replied softly. Or should I say the signature you attempted to copy? Next time, at least pay someone who knows how to trace pen pressure. My mother inhaled sharply. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. But you don't get to raise a child to be invisible and then act shocked when she becomes the kind of woman your secrets should fear. My phone chimed. "A message from Noah. Call me when you're done. Everything is ready." I didn't smile. Power doesn't need a smile. 4 minutes, I murmured. Someone at the table. Maybe it was Ethan. Maybe a distant aunt, whispered. Is this real? Real. The stain on my blouse was real. The years of being overlooked were real. The proof on my drive was real. And the shift in the room, the irreversible realization that I was no longer the quiet one, they could condescend into silence, was the realest moment of all. Sienna stood abruptly, chair screeching against the polished floor. "You're jealous. You've always been jealous." I didn't blink. No. I'm just done applauding fraud disguised as confidence. The timer on my phone ticked. 3 minutes left. Long enough for truth to make everyone at that table sweat. Short enough to remind them it was mercy, not vengeance, I was offering. Mercy they never once offered me. If part of me had ever hoped they'd confess, that part died right then. Pride will make people drown in their own secrets before they ever admit they're sinking. My father stood slow and heavy, as if authority could still shield him. "This is absurd," he said. "Whatever. Nonsense you think you uncovered ends now. Put the device away and stop embarrassing this family." Embarrassing this family? Interesting choice of words, considering the silk clinging cold and wet to my skin was the real humiliation served and applauded minutes earlier. I tilted my head slightly. "You didn't think money laundering and tax evasion would embarrass the family, but me telling you to stop will—" A flush crept up his neck. My mother opened her mouth to scold me, but closed it again when the room's attention snapped to my phone as the countdown ticked lower. 2:32. Sienna's breathing quickened, mascara smudging at the corners of her eyes. "Ari, stop," she whispered. And for the first time all night the performance cracked. "We can talk. Let's talk in private." Private. How convenient. Humiliation was public. Accountability suddenly needed privacy. I reached forward and slid a printed document across the table. A simple spreadsheet, neatly highlighted. Amounts, dates, transfers, The quiet skeletons of shiny lives. Ethan's eyes scanned the column of figures. Mortgage credits, foreign transfers, false invoices labeled media consulting. His Adam's apple bobbed. "Sienna! What is this?" She didn't answer. Couldn't. My mother tried again, voice honeyed and trembling. "Sweetheart, we can resolve this calmly. Don't make rash decisions." "Rash," I repeated softly. "Collecting evidence is not rash. Choosing peace over pride is not rash. Protecting myself from becoming collateral damage in someone else's fraud, definitely not rash." My phone buzzed. A soft ding. A short voice note preview from Noah popped up. "Everything is submitted. You did the right thing." I didn't hit play. I just met Sienna's eyes. Something shifted there. Not remorse, not even fear. Just the sudden recognition that I was no longer the sister who stood in her shadow brushing lint off her dress. My father lunged forward to grab the hard drive case, but I was ready. So was security called by the venue when voices rose and tension turned into threat. 2 staff members stepped in gently. "Sir, ma'am, let's keep things respectful. Guests have complained." The irony nearly made me laugh. As they moved closer, my mother whispered, voice cracking, "You're destroying us." "No," I said quietly. "I didn't destroy anything." I stopped pretending it wasn't already broken. 0:14 to 0:13. The timer hit 0. I locked eyes with Sienna. "What happens next," I murmured, "is just math and consequence." I turned silk, clinging to my back like the last bruise I would ever accept from them, and walked toward the door. I didn't look back, not once. The cold night didn't bite, it soothed. The world outside finally matched the quiet inside me. I walked down the steps, wine drying on silk, justice humming beneath my skin. Each step felt like shedding a weight I'd once called love. My phone buzzed. Calls. Texts. Maybe apologies disguised as threats. I didn't check. Silence for the first time wasn't a cage. It was a door. A black sedan pulled up. Noah stepped out, eyes steady, seeing me without pity. "You good?" he asked. I glanced at the burgundy stain. It would fade. The silk might never be perfect again, but I didn't need perfect. I needed honest. "I'm free," I said. The words didn't tremble. He nodded and opened the door. No speech, no applause. Some victories aren't meant to be celebrated, just lived. As we drove off, the house shrank in the mirror. Polished floors rationed affection. Love traded like currency. Home isn't where you're small. It's where you expand without permission. 2 days later, investigation letters arrived. Sienna lost partnerships. Ethan vanished. My mother begged for grace. My father demanded respect. Neither got what they thought they deserved. I didn't block them. I simply stopped answering. Sometimes revenge is reclaiming your time. I cleaned the blouse slowly, gently. The stain lightened, then blurred, until only I could still see where it once lived. Trauma's the same, never gone, just honest now. One quiet morning I hung it back in my closet. Not as a scar, but as proof I survived a room built to erase me, and I didn't claw my way out. I walked out with evident silence and a spine made from every moment they underestimated me. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply finally speaks and then never stays silent again. I didn't ruin a family. I removed myself from a stage where loyalty was one-sided and dignity unwelcome. They taught me silence. I turned it into strategy. And now I live in rooms where I don't have to whisper to be heard.